Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your daily update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. Before I get into it, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss my updates. I cover these three Monday to Friday. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support and your engagement. I really appreciate it and it really does help my little YouTube channel grow. Before I get into today's technical analysis for Bitcoin, I cannot just brush over and ignore the mistake I made yesterday because it has a material implication. Yesterday I was talking about the technical principle of the longer prices within a consolidation, the longer and stronger the following breakout will be when price runs after a breakout, either up or down, in this case up. For Bitcoin, when we look at its price history, that technical principle actually hasn't worked. We've got a 22-month consolidation here. The resulting breakout was a 37.9 multiplier in price from the high of the eventual bull run from the breakout point. Then we had a longer consolidation but a shorter bullish run. The mistake I made yesterday was getting my decimal place wrong. I calculated from this point to this point was a 151 multiplier in price, but it was only 15, so my bad, and I have to address that problem. So that means we have a longer consolidation, a shorter bullish run in terms of the multiplier, and then a shorter than this one consolidation and a shorter bullish run. So these two work somewhat for the principle. Now we're getting a longer consolidation, so I'm not going to use that technical principle because it doesn't appear to be holding very well for Bitcoin. But what I will be using is looking at this consolidation here, looking for a breakout, a close to a new all-time high, and then I'll be expecting a bullish run to gather momentum. The one thing I really am going to take from this chart though is looking at how long it takes for the bullish runs, because this does seem to hold quite true for Bitcoin. After the consolidation, the bullish run here ran 8 months. After this consolidation, again the bullish run ran 8 months, and after this one the bullish run ran 11 months. So it should be over within a year, but it might be a little bit longer in this case because this consolidation is so long lasting, 37 months so far, and it's not done. When we close to a new all-time high, I'll look for the resulting bullish run to gather really strong momentum, possibly end with vertical upward movement, and maybe be over within a year. So that's going to affect my decisions for my investments in terms of timing. I favour holding on a little bit because every time you enter and exit there's room for error. So the more times you do that, the more errors you can potentially make. And I'm not old enough yet to really be too worried, but it depends on how long it takes and what I'm doing with my life. So daily technicals for Bitcoin, we had this slight bearish divergence. It didn't result in much, it only resulted in this hammer candlestick pattern, and now yesterday moved price strongly higher, but yesterday's sessions completed with a strong bearish upper wick. Now we've seen this before here at the end of October, and that just led toward a sideways consolidation with a bit of an upward slope, a bit of an upward bias. So this doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get a pullback here. At this stage in the analysis, look out for me to get it wrong to the upside. Look out for me to be calling for a pullback that just doesn't materialize for ages. At this stage in the analysis, big third waves are winding up to move toward their middle. We'll see those Elliott Wave counts with Ethereum and XRP. So if I'm going to get it wrong, I'm going to be expecting pullbacks that don't materialize. Should be expecting an increase in upward momentum, strong push from volume, really strong upward movement, and it can run quite strongly for quite a great distance with very little pullbacks along the way. We will see pullbacks, and I expect we're going to have a couple of deep ones along the way, but look out now for them to be more brief than time consuming. So just a word of caution about my analysis in the next few months from this point on. I've gone back and looked left for Bitcoin, and I've identified some next resistances about here at 37,700. Now I want to see a really strong bearish candlestick reversal pattern before I expect that this bull run is going to be interrupted by anything deeper and longer lasting than something like this. Yesterday's session is completed with strong push from volume, not stronger than 23rd of October, but we're getting there. Let's see how Friday's session completes. If we see another upward session with an increase in volume, just look out for some vertical upward movement. The last signal on balance volume gave was bullish, and now price is moving higher, so that was a good signal. ADX is now in danger territory for Bitcoin. It's above 65. It can get a little bit higher than this. Previously at this time frame it's gotten over 70, but that's now getting pretty close. So this is getting really extreme, and this bullish run I will expect to be interrupted by a pullback, but probably not quite yet. There is still bearish divergence between price and RSI. If we see another pivot develop from price, then we may see double bearish divergence develop, and then that may, if it comes with a bearish candlestick pattern, that may be the interruption to this bull run that I'm looking for. Still bearish divergence between price and money flow as well. The Elliott Wave count for Ethereum, I'm just going to look at the weekly chart now because I want to draw your attention to this breakout that's above this pullback, which I've labeled minor wave 2. The Elliott Wave count for Ethereum is extremely bullish. I went over the monthly chart with all of the data for Ethereum yesterday. Look at yesterday's analysis to see just how bullish this is. I'm looking for a primary degree third wave within a cycle degree third wave, so nested huge third waves to be unfolding in its really early days. So intermediate 1 and 2 complete, and now minor 1 and 2 complete, and now looking for minute 1 and then a little pullback, well, a sharp, brief but possibly deep pullback for minute wave 2, and then I'll be looking for a third wave at 1, 2, 3, 4 large degrees. So this is extremely bullish. Price is closing above this pullback that's labelled minor wave 2, subdividing as a double zigzag. It's got a nice breach of this channel on the daily chart now, so I can have confidence that minor 2 is over and minor 3 is in its really early stages. So I'll pull the invalidation point up within minor wave 3. The second wave correction I'm looking for to come may not move beyond the start of the first wave below 1521.78, so that's where risk is right now for Ethereum using this wave count. Daily technicals for Ethereum yesterday completed a strong upward session with really good push from volume. This is extremely bullish. Look for next resistance at 2,400. Look now for support at 2,020. If that's broken, stronger support below at 1,880. Before I look for this bull run to be interrupted by a pullback that I will expect will be quite deep but probably also quite brief, I'll be looking for a very obvious strong bearish candlestick reversal pattern before I expect the bullish run is going to be interrupted. So without that being seen, expect the trend remains the same until proven otherwise. This trend is obviously upward and it has really strong push from volume. This is a sustainable trend. We had single bearish divergence. It was pretty weak for Ethereum, but it's just disappeared, and that's one of the problems with divergence. It doesn't always work. It works more often than not, but it doesn't always work. RSI is now deeply overbought, but there's no divergence. So I'll be looking for a little interruption, a small pullback or consolidation, new highs, and then I'll be looking for a pivot to develop again, and then I'll be trying to identify if there is divergence. We don't always see divergence before a deeper pullback, but it is fairly common. ADX is now moving toward danger territory for Ethereum. This upward trend is now very extreme. The bearish divergence between price and money flow, double bearish divergence isn't there, but I'm not going to count this until a pivot develops in price. So no divergence to identify at this time for price and money flow. For XRP today, I'm going to look at the daily chart. The daily Elliott Wave count sees a minor degree first wave over here from this low to this high. A 5-step forward pattern is complete, and now I expect we're seeing the following 3-step back pattern, which I'll label minor 2. These three are not moving in unison. They have a very weak correlation, but it's not statistically significant or reliable, so don't expect them to move together, and here's a really good example of why that expectation would be very badly placed. Minor wave 2 may find support about the logarithmic function of the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio at 0.5388. But first up, look for support at the log function of the 0.382 ratio at 0.6058. If it gets there and then I see a bullish reversal pattern, then we could have the end of the pullback. But if it gets there and just keeps on going down, then I'll look for next support at the log function of the 0.618. Minor 2 may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.4456. For XRP, we did have a bearish reversal pattern in dark cloud cover, and that's being followed by some downward movement. Look out for support initially, quite close now at 62 cents. Below that, about 55 cents. Pretty strong in that area. Price is falling with push from volume. Can't make a conclusion about the current session because it's still in the morning. It's just before 11 a.m. But yesterday's session has now completed and it did have push from volume. This is bearish. Expect downward movement is most likely to continue. For XRP, ADX is now declining after the previous upward trend reached very extreme. ADX now indicates there is no longer a clear trend for XRP at the daily time frame. RSI reached deeply overbought and is now returning to neutral territory, so this pullback is going to relieve these extreme conditions. It might have to last a couple of weeks or so to do so. If it does, it's going to set up for conditions perfect for a really strong third wave up. Money flow also reached reasonably overbought and is now returning to neutral, so the pullback is relieving extreme conditions. That's it for me today with your update. I hope everyone's having a lovely day.